Real quick, just real quick, guys, before we get into the video, I just want to invite y'all to follow me on Instagram at BSOLZ. I'm really trying to get into the IG live game and interacting with y'all on a more consistent basis while watching NBA games and, while I'm not making videos, as well as I have some stuff planned as far as content on there that you guys might like. So hop on that bandwagon before it takes off and follow me on Instagram at BSOLZ. But again, just real quick, with that being said, let's get right back into the video. Right off the bat, I just want to come off and admit that this video is inspired by a segment on ESPN's The Jump, in which they also did their mid-season NBA awards. And I thought it'd just be a cool idea to do the same on this channel. First, we talked about our predictions for these awards going into the season, and this is pretty much a video exposing myself for making some of those predictions that I did in the offseason that now look pretty stupid for one reason or another. And man, who knows, this is just the mid-season awards, so we might look back in 4 months and we might be laughing at this video too. But mainly it's to simply give an update on what the award races look like halfway through the season. And for the people who read the title, this video is pretty much self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and start with Rookie of the Year, Luka Doncic. I've said this since last season. We will be spoiled by the 2017-2018 rookies for the next couple of years because we haven't seen so many NBA ready players dominate out of the gate in a minute. And it's rare we get to see a great Rookie of the Year race like we did last season with Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons. But this year with Luka Doncic, Luka just wiped the floor this year with his play because as impressive as the class was last year, many people, including myself, would argue that Luka is better than any of last year's best rookies right now in their second year. And I don't think anyone's getting close to Luka this year as far as the players in his rookie class. Now, respect to DeAndre Ayton, who has been balling lately, but to me it's just not close. No one's leading a team like Luka. He's putting up 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. And pretty good efficiency considering that A, he's a rookie, and B, his role as being the number 1 option for the Mavs. So for Rookie of the Year, my vote is Luka Doncic. Sixth Man of the Year, Spencer Dinwiddie. If you guys haven't noticed, the Brooklyn Nets are actually a semi-decent team this year. They're not any contender, but this is the best team they've formed since the greatest starting lineup in NBA history Nets. They're not the laughingstock of the league anymore. And the big part of their success has been the continued development of one of last year's most improved player candidates in Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie this year is averaging 17 points per game on really good shooting splits of 46% from the field, 36% from 3, and 80% from the line, while averaging 5 assists per game with only 2 turnovers a game. Him accepting his role coming off the bench has really allowed D'Lo to play his game without any worry of a lack of touches and has added necessary depth to a team that wouldn't have any really coming off the bench if it wasn't for Spencer Dinwiddie. And to be honest, although Dinwiddie was a candidate for most improved last year, I would even go as far as to say that he's improved so much on his efficiency in scoring this year while averaging the same amount of minutes and pretty much the same assists per game that I believe he has a stronger case this year for most improved than last year. And speaking of most improved player, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, man. Full respect to Derrick Rose. Before he was getting all this love this season, before everyone was treating him like a god this season, there was actually a period in time in which Derrick Rose was one of the most laughed at and one of the most hated players in the league. His injuries became a meme. Bulls fans themselves were booing D Rose because they thought he quit on the team with his "I have a future outside of basketball" comments a couple years ago, and the fact that his rehab took longer than most people expected when he was the missing piece they needed to beat the Heat, who were beating them pretty much every single year despite Tibbs' efforts of maintaining the Bulls at the top of the East without Derrick Rose. And after he played only 25 games last season, averaging a combined 8 points per game on 2 teams, it just seemed like the end was near. And it looked like the end was inevitable. But despite all the criticism, and despite all the injuries, and despite everyone counting D Rose out, including myself, D Rose just kept on playing and he kept on working. And D Rose this season has bounced back as a reinvented player, as this season he's averaging 19 points per game on the best shooting splits of his career, on 49% from the field, 46% from 3, and 84% from the line, alongside 5 assists with only 1.8 turnovers. Now, I do want to take a second and acknowledge Zach LaVine, who has improved tremendously this season as well. But with D Rose, we're literally talking about a guy who we thought his career was over, and he has blossomed back into one of the best point guards in the league once again. Not the Windy Assassin, youngest MVP in league history type of best guards in the league, but one of the best nonetheless. And the fact that I'm even saying that after what he's gone through the past couple of years is simply amazing. So shout out to Derrick Rose. Defensive Player of the Year, Paul George. Defensive Player of the Year really is something that you have to watch the games to really see how effective some of these players are, because defensive stats for the most part are very misleading. But if there was any standout defender this year, I would give it to Paul George. Paul George this season is averaging a career high in rebounds at 8 a game and a career high in steals at 2.2 steals a game. On top of that, more often than not, he is tasked to guard the best wing player on the other team. And the wing position is arguably the strongest it's ever been, featuring guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and he's usually tasked as the primary defender on these guys. And his efforts have been good enough to be the defensive anchor, at least in my opinion. Some people might say Steven Adams. There are some that might say Russell Westbrook because he's leading the league in steals. But in my opinion, he has been the defensive anchor on the best defense in the league in the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we're not even talking about what he's doing in the offensive end. And shout out to Paul George. Coach of the Year, Mike Budenholzer. What a difference a coach can make, am I right? While I'm not attributing all of Milwaukee's success on Mike Budenholzer, I would say he is one of the biggest reasons for their success. Coach Bud this season has finally done what the Bucks have been missing these past couple of years, and that is giving them a team identity. For the past couple of years, the Milwaukee Bucks really have had no identity as a team. It was a team who lacked spacing, lacked veteran presence, and it was very Giannis-centric when Giannis wasn't ready for, that I'ma lead this team to 60 wins type of season. But in just one offseason, Coach Bud has instilled a pace and space system that has not only maximized Giannis' potential, but also the potential of Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, and Malcolm Brogdon, who have been getting a lot of wide open looks and are being provided with great spacing, which has allowed them to be the playmakers and the shot creators that they are, and has fully maximized their potential as well. And Coach Bud's system has simply revived Brook Lopez's career, as he has successfully turned into a 7-foot Klay Thompson, which has been a major part as to why the Bucks' spacing has been so good this year. And in one offseason where the Bucks didn't really make any major moves aside from signing the right role players, Coach Bud has transformed this team to not just one of the best teams in the East, but in my opinion, a legitimate championship contender. MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know the talk of the town has been hard in the past couple of weeks, and rightfully so. He is having a season that rivals the greatness of Kobe Bryant's 2006 NBA season. And if you haven't seen my video on Harden's historic season, go check it out. I'll leave it somewhere on the screen right now. But despite Harden's efforts, I still believe Giannis is the front runner for the MVP and will win it this year when it all comes down to it. I mean, by now you guys already have heard all the stats over and over again, but just really quickly, I'll go over them. 26 points on nearly 60% shooting, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and roughly 1.5 steals and blocks a game, while leading the Bucks to the best record in the league, on pace for 60 wins. I mean, that should sum it up right there. Let me know, how is that not an MVP season? But there you have it, folks. Those are my mid-season awards. Let me know in the comment section down below what your mid-season awards are, because I want to see who y'all think deserve these awards. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with my choices. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I upload videos like this twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays or Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. For those who are confused with that schedule, that's pretty much a video every Tuesday and another video at the end of the school week. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram like I said in the beginning of this video, and I'm out. Peace.